You're listening to Diminishing Returns, the podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and reboots. I'm Chris Scott, and across from me, he's the man who's redefined the hustle. It's Mr. Alan Johnson.
How do pod people?
Yes, this is another one of our non-franchise in-betweeny episodes, where instead of our so-called franchise episodes, where we discuss, a particular film franchise, we get to talk about whatever the hell we want. And in this episode, we've got a bit of a superhero segment coming up. We've got our trailer talk as well. But first, we are traditionalists. We are going with our classic news section, where you will tell me about all the fun sequel news, and I will go, I don't know if that sounds that good, man. It's pretty much how it works every episode, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Ron Howard, director of the upcoming Star Wars anthology film Solo, A Star Wars Story, saying that there's a potential sequel for Willow.
Oh, wow. Now,
Yeah.
I loved that film as a 6-year-old.
Yes.
I have no idea if it holds up whatsoever.
There are some special effects in there that aren't great.
Yeah.
By and large, it's a bit of a romp. It's still pretty good fun.
Well, good.
And a lot of that is down to Val Kilmer as Mad Mardigan giving his swaggery, swashbuckly best. But Howard was saying that this sequel won't be called Willow 2 and will probably focus more on Elora Danan, the mystical child that Willow was saving in the first film.
And is Ron Howard actually going to do it himself, or is this just an executive producer
He is
thing?
talking about directing, yeah.
Okay. See, that, like, if it's the original guy that's wanting to direct another one and they're up for it, when you see them just go, no, we really want to bring this back, but I don't want to do any of the work, and I just want to give it to somebody else, it's like, oh, I want to make money. That's what you're saying. You want to make money for something you've already done and not put any work in. So, Ron Howard, old Ronaldo, big Ron director. Quite like Ron Howard. He's never maybe going to make like the greatest film of all time, but he makes good fucking films.
Across the board, he makes pretty solid fare. And early word on Solo is it's a fun watch.
Brilliant, that's what I want.
Is exactly why they brought him in.
Cool, yeah, so Willow 2, but it's not going to be called that. That's probably going to change when marketing go. We've gone past that Dirty Harry thing, where they just name the films a different thing and you've just got to remember that it's the same fucking guy. Yeah. Also, I expect the sequel to be like a Dirty Harry film.
We touched on it a few bonus episodes back, but YouTube Red has had its first actual hit.
Oh!
The streaming service is 2 years old.
Cobra Kai,
the Karate Kid extension.
I have heard nothing but good things about this.
It's really good. Amusingly enough, the thing that struck me while I was watching it was, I had hinted at from the trailer, it seemed like there might be a possibility they're talking about like kind of toxic masculinity and like the place for like masculinity and how you deal with it in the modern world. And you've been like, there's no way this is going to be a treatise on that, but it does actually get into a lot of that stuff, which is pretty.
And now we've solved the mystery here, dear listener, of how this ended up in the news, because Alan wanted to go, I was right, Chris. Oh, look at that. Eh? How did that? I bet you they've announced a sequel to like The Nice Guys or something, and you're like, no, I'm leaving that one out because I want to tell Chris to suck my tits. Well, fine, Alan, I will suck your tits.
I can't believe you think so little of me. I found statistics, Chris. That's why I've brought this up. So, the important thing for YouTube Red is that it's outperformed other streaming platforms according to Data Para Analytics.
Are these like the same guys as Cambridge Analytica?
And so they've compared search terms for comparable shows on other streaming services. So Netflix obviously had the second series of 13 Reasons Why, which is a big hit for them.
Right.
Cobra Kai, 54% more popular than that. Against Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale, it's twice as popular.
I mean, to be fair, as much as I love The Handmaid's Tale, a sequel to a beloved 80s blockbuster is probably going to get more like, I wonder what that's like, rather than, have you seen that new show, The Handmaid's Tale? Oh, what's it like? Oh, it's just going to make you depressed all day, and like it's just like a brutal examination of how women get treated. No. Oh, no, they don't. It's not really. There's no bits that are like comic relief or levity. No, it's just brutalization for about an hour each episode. Wait, come back. Wait, why don't you want to watch this with me?
I do have a big like ramp up to get into. I'm going to watch The Handmaid's Tale, which I think is excellent. This second series has really.
I've not seen any of the new season. I've got the first one ready to watch. But what I would always have to do is save like a 30-minute funny as fuck sitcom, so that when I finished watching The Handmaid's Tale, I took a wee 5 minutes to myself and be like, oh boy, that was, oh god, oh boy, I can't go to bed like this. Oh, Archer, like I needed something, so I have to buttress it with like fun, happy stuff.
I might need to adopt that for the household because after the last episode that we watched together, my wife and I had an hour's debrief of her asking what's our plan when this happens here.
And you were like, you're gonna do what I tell you because it's gonna be a man's world.
But just go back to the final statistic. Against Netflix's Lost in Space, 121% more popular. And that's maybe more in keeping with what you're saying is like that's a beloved old franchise. And,
true, but that's a really old franchise. Karate Kid is for people of like our age will really love that. Lost in Space, I imagine both me and you watched the hell out of it when it was getting reruns, but it's like a 1960s TV show.
Is it 1999? There was a
the massive hit.
Joey Tribbiani.
Gary Oldman, massive blockbuster hit, Lost in Space. No, it wasn't a hit, Alan. Nobody remembers that. It's fucking terrible. However, I loved Lost in Space as a wee guy, the TV show, but I haven't watched the new Netflix one, so there you go. So, good hit for, big hit, like the kind of strong hit that you would get from like learning karate for these karate men.
The only place to go.
They were no longer karate kids.
I mean,
they were now karate men.
That is the plot. It is like they're now karate middle-aged guys.
Beautiful.
So some sequel news. There's a Zombieland sequel coming.
I haven't seen the first one. I've heard it's great.
It's good fun, but we'll gloss right over that if you've not seen it.
Cool.
And we'll go right into, obviously, following up on more news that we've had recently. There's been a confirmation from Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves that Bill and Ted 3 is happening. But for you, and I'm sure you've seen this, but on Twitter, there was a John Wick 3 announcement via a motion animated poster.
Yeah, I saw this. Don't you worry. Can't you see that I still have the fucking hard on from last week? Holy moly. Yeah. So it's basically going to be out just under a year.
Yeah, and some amazing cast details been released. Lawrence Fishburne, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick, Ruby Rose, and Common are all returning to their respective roles.
Yeah, baby.
Halle Berry's on the cast, and the most recent cast announcement had named Angelica Houston, Mark Dacascos, Jason Mantzoukas, and Asia Kate Dillon, who you might remember them in Orange is the New Black and on that show Billions.
2 shows I have not watched.
Ah, okay. Well, you won't know that performer. I can't wait for John Wick 3.
In John Wick, I trust. It's fantastic. I think, therefore, we haven't even discussed next year's schedule. But I think for the release of John Wick 3, around that, we're going to have to enjoy ourselves and get some of that big dirty wick about us.
Oh.
Yeah. 2 great Keanu bits of news then.
Yeah.
So Bill and Ted 3, I would say that would be exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And John Wick 3, well played. We are living through the Keanu Renaissance. And as we have discussed in many episodes, we are all for it.
And finally, and leading us into our topic, our final story, the LAPD are investigating the theft of an Iron Man prop suit and other Marvel-related memorabilia. And the Iron Man suit itself is valued in the mid-6 figures. Stolen from a...
I can't. You know what I'm terrible at? Whistling. I couldn't whistle till I was about 28.
Oh.
Yeah. And one day I remember the first time I ever properly whistled. I was walking along with my dad and I just went... I was like, I whistled. I turned around to my dad, right? I was like, Dad, I just whistled like I'm a grown man at this point. Yeah. And he's going... Right? And I'm like, Dad, I've never been able to whistle. He was like, what? What do you mean you've never been able to whistle? I was like, I just went, like, that would have been adorable for maybe like a 6-year-old. Yes. But I was like, Dad, I can whistle. I'm doing it. And he was just like, what the fuck?
20 years too late, mate.
What did that raise? But yeah, so they've stole the Iron Man suit.
Yeah. No suspects. A warehouse heist. I mean,
love it.
I'm just saying.
This is great.
Surely there's a story in here.
I mean, we want to see some sort of bank heist being done in like Marvel props as the disguises. So mid-6 figures. So that's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So you think it's getting sold to like some criminal collector guy?
Wouldn't that be great? Like some like weird.
Yeah, like there's some oligarch's kid loves this shit. And he's just like, all right, criminal guy, he's got it for his kid or something like that, and a bunch of other Marvel stuff, which would be pretty cool. I suppose at this point, it would be our duty to say that if anyone has any leads on the theft of the Iron Man suit, and also this vague other Marvel props, like what's the deal with that?
Yeah,
is it Stan Lee? Has somebody stolen Stan Lee?
Oh, what that poor man's going through at the moment,
Not pretty, is it?
No, it's awful. That poor man.
Right.
What I would like is, I wonder if there's just some like intern going around with like flyers taping up. Have you seen this prop?
Yeah. Wow. Mid. So in the section, hundreds of £1,000s for a suit, like a prop suit.
For just a prop, yeah.
Something in it.
Yeah.
This sounds like an insurance scam now. I think I might be getting this might be like double indemnity. I might be starting to come towards the truth here. Yeah. So basically, j'accuse. I feel that there's more to this Iron Man suit theft than meets the eye.
I hope by the next time we have a bonus that I've got some kind of update on the Iron Man suit.
Or we could should we do a special series where me and you travel around America solving mysteries?
Nothing would make me happier.
So the news, we've got a possible sequel to Willow.
Yes.
That will definitely end up being called Willow : something. We have the fact that you were right about something for once, which I haven't seen, so I can't give independent verification for this, but I'll be the bigger man and say well done, Alan, and that Hollywood props are worth hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Is there a prop that you desire from a film?
Can I tell you a prop that I have held?
Oh.
The sword from Highlander.
Really?
Yeah.
Wowzers.
I was working in a hotel and they had this like some film stuff as part of like this charity do. It might have been like a massive charity auction, and so like they had to get this prop master who like I think maybe worked in the film, and I was like, oh shit, that's the fucking sword from Highlander. And he was like, you want to hold it? And I was like, yeah. I could only hold it for like a second because he was like, yeah, you can't like run about with it. And I was like, oh, but I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. It's a sword from Highlander.
Wow.
And there was some other like bits and bobs. It was pretty cool. You know what? That fucking guy was a total dude. That guy was just like, yeah, of course you want to hold the Highlander sword, right? I was like, yes, please. So Al, that was all the news that was fit to print.
Sure was.
And now we're moving on to a segment inspired by a voice memo sent to us by one of our listeners.
Yes.
Holy moly. I guess the best thing we should do is just play that voice memo. Take it away, Mr. Craig Martin.
Right. 50 episodes in, I've listened to them all, and I enjoy them. There's a lot of Marvel talk in the in-betweeny ones, and I'm not really a big Marvel fan, but it seems to be that they're all prequels, sequels, whatever, so you're just reflecting that. That's great. This week, my wife and I thought we'd catch up on the Avengers. Never seen the Avengers or anything like that. We've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was really funny, and we enjoyed that. So we watched the second one, it was pretty good. So let's go and see the Avengers. First one, bunch of people we've kind of heard of, getting together, saving the world. That kind of makes sense. Second one, similar, although new people arrive at the end. We've got no idea, and there's a few in-jokes we don't know. By the time you get to the third one, all sorts of stuff's went down in loads of films that we've never seen. Now, I guess I'm being naive, thinking I could go and see a Marvel thing and not be expected to, better go and watch this one, each one that comes out so that you know what's going on. But 10 minutes into it, Guardians of the Galaxy arrive. So is it now an Avengers film or Guardians of the Galaxy film? Because they're all there doing the same thing. I Am Groot has grown up a bit, and then... So what if we'd never seen that and then we went to see the next Guardians of the Galaxy? Or what goes on? I mean, I listen to your stuff, but obviously I don't take it in because it's just throwaway bubblegum podcast chat. Maybe you could reflect all this for an idiot who can't even follow Marvel plot lines and explain a few things, because I'm a wee bit lost and you seem to be the experts on this kind of thing. And the last thing I would say is, how can you get 50 episodes in and you've not done Rocky? That's weird. That's like having an iTunes library with no AC/DC in it. So sort that out. Let me know what's going on with Avengers / Guardians of the Galaxy / all the people that are in it who are now speaking to each other or have had their hair cut or have changed. Is it the same actor, different actor, whatever? Because I'm totally lost, and unlike you two, I don't have all the time to go and watch 49 Marvel films a year. Great show, keep it up. That's how you get these things on, isn't it? Okay, bye.
So, some interesting points raised by Craig, and should we maybe try and then sum up the MCU for listeners that maybe aren't as interested in superhero fare as the box office going public seem to be.
Yeah, so like if you want to go and watch Infinity War, you've heard so much about it.
Yeah.
But there's 18 films leading up to this film.
What are the salient points that need to get me to Infinity War?
The Marvel Cinematic Universe up to Infinity War, but not including, because we're not going to spoil Infinity War. So basically, we're going to spoil films before it. We're not going to spoil Infinity War. But for those of you who want to jump straight into Infinity War, Alan, you've done extensive research, looked at the timelines, watched video clips. You have spent ages putting together information for this purpose. So why don't I just give it a go, because I haven't watched any of them for ages, and I'll try and remember what happens.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Our guide to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Iron Man, his suit was stolen. Like, it's about worth $100,000 according to some people. So it's the story of Tony Stark, and he bad guy, sells arms and stuff, but then he becomes a prisoner, builds himself a suit, and he's like, maybe I shouldn't sell arms and stuff like that. He becomes a superhero, Iron Man, by Ted Hughes, and he beats up Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
And at the end of that film, Samuel L. Jackson's like, we're gonna have loads of other films, and he's like, right, okay, cool. So then we've got the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk, which no one cares about, so we're not going to talk about that. Okay, then we've got Captain America, the First Avenger.
Iron Man 2.
Just fucking let me fucking try. Fuck you. Iron Man 2. By the way, we don't need to care about. It's a bit shit. Scarlett Johansson's in it, and there's Hawkeye in it as well. Iron Man 2.
Hawkeye's in Thor.
Brilliant. Let me get to that, right? We then get Thor, who crosses a rainbow bridge, fights Tom Hiddleston, the Spurs player, who's his brother, called Loki, and he gets to go out with Natalie Portman. Nice. But she's also like, I'm probably not going to come back for any more of these because I'm a bit too big for this. And she's like, fine. Also, I'm going to be jumping around here. Oh, Thor also has Hawkeye in it, as we've discussed. Hawkeye's a character that literally no one cares about, so that's fine. Even though I quite like Jeremy Renner and things. That's his name?
Yes.
Good. So Jeremy Renner plays Hawkeye, who is effectively like a wisecracking doctor in the Mobile Army surgical hospital. No, is that somebody else? Okay, that's fine. Captain America, First Avenger, and that's where a wee skinny guy with a big head gets like pumped full of super serum, and by that I mean like medically, not like fucked into him. That'd be weird. It makes him into this big buff guy called Chris Evans, not the Chris Evans that did TFI Friday in the 90s. Chris Evans is all buff and handsome and shit, and he fights Nazis. Good, we like that. He faces off against the elf from Lord of the Rings, and the elf is like, I'm okay with putting ears on, but big rubbery red skulls I'm not a fan of, so he doesn't come back anymore. Captain America's First Avenger, he's from the past, his plane crashes into ice, he's frozen, but he gets reawoken at the end of that film, and he's a big beautiful ride, one for the ladies, good stuff. So we've got Thor as the story of an even bigger, beautifuler ride. We've got Captain America, Iron Man 2, and we've had the Hulk, and we've had Iron Man 1, because that came before 2, which means we're now in the Avengers?
Now in the Avengers.
We're now in the Avengers. The Avengers. So Craig, you were like, Avengers, so the Avengers are the Hulk, who's now not played by Ed Norton, it's played by Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
And then you've got Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Radar, and I can't remember the captions. The Hot Lips Houlihan. Yeah, nice, thank you. These are some jokes about a show from the 70s and 80s that probably most people won't remember. You've got Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, of course, and the leader of them is Nick Fury, who's Samuel L. Jackson, who's been popping about in these films going like, hey guys, let's all hang out, let's have a team. I've got an eye patch. Ooh, that's pretty cool. He was used to be a white man called David Hasselhoff in a very, very low scene Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. film that I watched about 5 minutes of in the 90s and went, oh, that's not good. Despite the fact that I, like many people, love the Hoff. So it's an upgrade. We've got Samuel L. Jackson. He's getting a team together. There's also Agent Coulson. He's like another guy who's been kicking about being like, hey, I'm not a superhero, but I'm in S.H.I.E.L.D. And S.H.I.E.L.D. stands for S-H-I-E-L-D. Find out what it means to be. So Avengers fight Loki, who is Tom Hiddleston, the aforementioned Spurs player, who's the brother of Thor, and he gets like a Hing, and it's a big cube, and the cube's like, oh my god, this fucking Hing, and he can like shoot Hings with a cube, but then at the end of it, the cube somehow brings down like aliens who try to destroy New York City, but the Avengers come together because like they were a band of like separate people, but then they all come together because it's a Joss Whedon film because of the death of Phil Coulson, because Joss Whedon likes to kill off characters. One of the good things about him. A lot of other stuff you don't want to know about when it comes to Joss, but we don't need to talk about that. So they have the Avengers, they come together. Oh my god, they're Earth's mightiest heroes.
That's phase one.
Phase one of the MCU.
The only big things to mention from that phase one is that the Tesseract shows up.
Is that not the cube?
The blue cube that
shows
up in Captain America.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Loki has the scepter, which is given to him by the Other under the guidance of Thanos.
Right.
In the Avengers, Loki's given the spear with the little blue thing in it, which makes people do his bidding.
That's right. He turns them into kind of like slaves.
Spear, the Red Skull, and the blue cube are the important things you need to remember for going forward.
I don't know if these really are that important, but we'll get to it. So, phase 2. So, we've got Captain America, the Winter Soldier is in this. Ant-Man. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a big one. Guardians of the Galaxy is a big one. So you get Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is about a guy that loves 70s music, but he's in space, and he's like Indiana Jones, but he's like Han Solo, but he's in space. No way, that's pretty much. So basically, the kind of doughy guy from Parks and Rec lost a bunch of weight, and he's called Chris Pratt, and he plays a kind of lovable rogue that wants to pump a green alien. Not to be confused with the new Star Trek film, which has a guy called Chris Pine, who plays a lovable rogue who wants to pump a green alien. But Chris Pratt basically has been taken from Earth as a kid, and what they do in this film is they have 70s music and some jokes, and the lassie from Doctor Who, the Scottish lassie, gets her head shaved and she has blue paint on her. And
now, crucially,
she's
the daughter of Thanos.
She's the daughter of Thanos.
Along with Gamora.
Right, yeah. So they are the daughters of Thanos, who is the bad guy in Infinity War, which is why we're talking about this. And they basically are like, oh, this Thanos guy's a bit of a dick. Ooh, all right, okay. And then but they don't fight Thanos in this film. They fight like one of his like captains, and they defeat him through the power of 70s music and wisecracks. And then they find out like, Chris Pratt is not entirely human. He's like half human, half something else. Big deal.
But how did they find that out?
He sacrifices himself, but only humans get killed by something. Does this matter?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crucial.
Right. Again, I don't think you know what crucial is, but go on, Alan.
Well, we're trying to map out how we get to Infinity War.
Which I've been doing perfectly well with lots of detail.
The purple stone in Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the Infinity Stones, and holding that stone, which a human shouldn't be able to do, Chris Pratt is able to do. Right. So we now have the location of an Infinity Stone. Right.
Okay. Crucial stuff. That's the Guardians of the Galaxy. There are wisecracking people. There's like a space raccoon and a big a muscly dude who does deadpan jokes. It's very funny. That's a Marvel film that if you're maybe not into superhero-y stuff, I think it's quite easy to get into and popular, and that's probably why our listener Craig Martin was like, hey, I like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guys. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? They're great. Yeah, so we've got that. We've got Iron Man 3, which is directed by Shane Black. Yeah, baby! Our favourite director of all time. Gets some sweet superhero money. Basically, what Shane Black does is have an Iron Man film set in Christmas with like a wisecracking kid. How did he manage to figure that one out? It's because that's what he does in all his films, and that's why Shane Black is a dude. It's very funny. There's a reveal about a bad guy in it that's a comic bad guy that you go, oh, that's going to be racist, and then they go, don't worry, it's not racist. We understand that this isn't the 60s anymore, and we've made it just a bit stupid but not racist. And then people went, oh, we wanted the racist caricature.
Yeah,
because people on the internet that like these sort of films and comic books are fucking idiots for the most part, unless you listen to this show, in which case you're fucking sexy. So you got Iron Man 3, and this is about Tony Stark is like, I need to be a hero without the suit and stuff like that. And also he has a friend called War Machine. I mean, that's what they call him. I don't think that's his real name. And he used to be Tony Howard. Is that the guy's name? Or
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Yeah, he used to be Terrence Howard, but now he's Don Cheadle.
Now he's done for the better.
Which is, I quite like Terrence Howard as an actor, but Don Cheadle is fucking awesome. So absolutely done well there. Oh, he goes out with Tony Stark goes out with Gwyneth Paltrow, who steams her vagina. Not in the film, but in real life, her stupid website called Goop or some shit is like it's a kind of like for rich people. It's like it's all like new agey bullshit. And one of the things was like, oh, it's called the V steam or something, and it steams your vagina. I mean, I'm just gonna say she's not that bright, but she's good in this film. So the preceding two Iron Man films. So that's Iron Man 3. So we've got that. We've got Captain America, the Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier. So this is about Captain America is now back in the future, which is the present. It's the present is now, but to him it's the future because he comes from the past. That's how time works. And he's like, and he goes out jogging and he meets a guy, and the guy's like, oh, hey, we seem all right. So he's immediately a superhero like 20 minutes later with like a flying suit and stuff, which is great. And basically him and Scarlett Johansson hang out and like go on cool missions and shit. There's a lot of kind of spy stuff and action stuff. I like this film. And then suddenly they're like, oh, guess who's infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D.? The organisation, that'd be the company, the organisation that have brought these superheroes together and are trying to make the world a good place. Guess what, guys? They've been infiltrated by agents of Hydra. Hydra, like kind of Nazi bad guy dudes. So Hydra have infiltrated the good guys, Hydra the bad guys. Captain America goes kicking ass. He kicks ass in like a lift on a boat. It's fantastic. So Captain America is like a super cool dude. Scarlett Johansson's like a total badass. Oh, and Robert Redford's in it, and he's a bad guy. Oh, nice. And Samuel L. Jackson gets murdered. Oh, but does he? No, he's back later. Don't worry about it. Yeah, who's the Winter Soldier, you ask? Why? It's Bucky Barnes. Who's that? Okay, so basically, in Captain America, Captain the first Avenger, he was his pal, and then they went on missions together, but he also like got frozen or some shit, but he doesn't have an arm. He got frozen without they must have left his arm out in the sun, so like everything else was frozen, and then they brought him back, but he's also brainwashed. So he used to be like Bucky used to be a kind of good guy, but now he's like, I'm gonna kill people because I'm the Winter Soldier. I don't like seasonal work. Do you know what I mean? You want to get yourself a nice. It's fine when you're younger, right? But you want to get a real sort of permanent job at this point, you know. But hey, that's the gig economy. He can only be a Winter Soldier. The rest of the time, he's driving Deliveroo. He's the bad guy. But Captain America's like, no, he's a good guy. Really, he's just been brainwashed, and he's got a big robot arm. Lots of great action sequences. That's a really good one. I would recommend the Winter Soldier is one of the top ones. Then there's the Ant-Man. The Ant-Man is a guy who's played by Paul Rudd, and he is like a superhero, but is like a jokey figure because he all he does is really get himself small. But it's actually really fun, and he goes on a heist, and Michael Douglas is there. Michael Douglas, who of course got throat cancer from eating pussy, as he said in an interview in The Guardian. Perhaps if he'd met Gwyneth Paltrow and her steamed vagina, maybe that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. So there's the Ant-Man, and that's good fun. It's not necessary to watch it for Infinity War, but it's a good hang. No. It's a good hang. Phase 2, Thor 2 is in that. Is Thor 2 in that?
2 is in that, yeah. It was after Iron Man 3.
Yeah, but he fights like an elf and shit. Nobody cares about it. It's fucking that's one to miss. You don't need to know anything about that.
It's weird. That's one that you do need to miss because it's terrible, but it's got one of the Infinity Stones in it.
That's Thor 2. Am I missing anything from Phase 2? Oh, by the way, guys. The second Avengers film. Yeah, that would probably be. So this is one called Age of Ultron, where Tony Stark is like, man, remember those beasties that came down from the sky and almost destroyed New York? That's really rough. What we should do is we should create some sort of robot and be like, that will protect everybody. And everyone's went, haven't you seen any film ever, Tony? Robots always turn out to be evil. And of course, he then creates an evil robot who's voiced by James Spader. Ultron is like, he does that classic robot thing of being like, hey, why don't we kill all humans? That'll solve a lot of stuff. Well, maybe not all of them, but he's like, let's kill most of them. And to be fair, I see he's got a strong point. So the Avengers are all kicking about, hanging about, having a beer. Then this kind of robot consciousness thing comes into one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits, and it's all broken and shit. That one's probably worth only about 100 grand instead of 300 grand. And basically he can like move his consciousness about into different robotic things. But his basic thing is like, I want to get myself into this pure amazing body.
A vibranium body?
It's called, yes, which is made of vibranium, which is also the same stuff that Captain America's shield is made out of. So Tony Stark is all like, oh man, I fucking made this this evil robot. I'm really fucked up this time. Hey, do you know what we should do? We should make some other kind of robot thing. And that's called Vision. And it's basically Paul Bettany and what I can only assume is annoying makeup put on.
Yeah, well, considering for all of these films previously, he's just been a voice role.
Yeah, he's the voice of Tony Stark's computer. The computer has a voice, don't question it. And now he's Vision, and basically
with the aid of the stone from...
That was the one fucking time that I knew about the fucking... Jesus Christ, they put an Infinity Stone in his napper, the kind of yellow gold one.
Which came out of the blue stone from Loki's scepter.
The colour coordination's all over the sort and stuff. They put that in his napper, and that gives him consciousness, and he becomes like his own thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool. Well, we better hope he's good.
Yeah.
Like, you know who else had a consciousness in his own thing? Hitler, guys. Don't fucking...
I thought you meant Ultron, the guy we just made.
That also works. It's mental. It's like, oh, we've made this mistake. Let's try it again, see if it works out. But against all odds, Vision's quite a good guy. And he has a cape for some reason.
Oh, because they look amazing.
Yeah, that's true. And they also meet one of the non-Olsen twins, but she's an Olsen, and she can shoot things at her horns, her Vince Vaughn's. And they also have Quicksilver, who's also in the X-Men universe, but it's played by a different actor. So they kill off the one in the Marvel universe because it's like, who cares? We don't really care about you. Sorry, mate. They kill Ultron, and they're like, yay, ooh, that was close. Oh, also, Thor has a dream in Age of Ultron, which basically shouldn't have been in the film because it wastes about 5 minutes of screen time. And Hawkeye's got a family. So Quicksilver's dead, and his sister ends up pumping Vision.
Yeah.
Which, like, it's weird. Like, I wonder if he's got like a purple dong. The Infinity Bones. Come on, guys. So that's the end of phase 2, right?
With an after credit sequence on Age of Ultron where Thanos decides that everybody else is fucking up. Thanos is out to get the stones.
He's gonna get his stones. So they've been teasing this big bad Thanos. So we then get to phase 3. So phase 3 is Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Which is not about the abolition of slavery. Thankfully, it is where some of the Avengers, kind of mini Avengers film. You've got Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Vision. You've got what's her name? Scarlett Johansson.
Black
Widow. And you have Ant-Man pops up in it.
Yep. Pops right up.
Yeah, right. He becomes Giant Man. That's funny. But the big one in this is that Spider-Man's in it. Oh my God. This is this great story about basically how two giant corporations decided to make loads of money by one corporation going, we fucked up like these last couple of Spider-Man films. We really need out this whole, can you stick them in your massive hit film and then we'll both make a ton of money and then you'll make more money. And they all went, yay! And it's a real victory for corporate synergy. So Spider-Man, and Iron Man as well. And basically the whole...
And? T'Challa.
Oh, wait, yeah. This is the first time you get to see Black Panther.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. It's fucking... So Black Panther is introduced and they're like, hold on for another year or two and you're going to make a fuckload of money. It's great. The main thing is that Tony Stark, Iron Man and Captain America have a bit of a tiff. Oh, they fall out a wee bit. And then at the end they kind of go, oh no, we're pals. We love each other really. That's a really good one as well. I really like that, Civil War. And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Doctor Strange.
We've got Doctor Strange. Okay, we'll do Doctor Strange first. Doctor Strange is a story about a surgeon who becomes a wizard.
That's it.
And Benedict Cumberbatch plays him, and Mads Mikkelsen is in it. So I'm not gonna lie, I got thrown out for jerking off in the cinema by the great Dormammu. I want to jerk off to Mads Mikkelsen. So then we've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where the Guardians of the Galaxy face off against Kurt Russell's hair, which is amazing. Kurt Russell is a living planet. Just go with it. And they also have different 70s music this time, but it's still the 70s. And they also have wisecracks, but it's different wisecracks. And they have, they had a giant tree in the first one. Now they've got a baby tree, and they still have like a raccoon, and they still have a big giant guy who doesn't understand things. And it's really good fun. Again, we've talked about it previously on this show. And also Chris Pratt, he is totally now banging the green chick, so it's great. So that's Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yep.
So that's made by a different company from the rest of the Marvel films, but Marvel kind of co-produced it because, again, corporate synergy, and they needed their help. This is a story that you probably won't have seen in films before, where a high school student, Peter Parker, is actually a guy called Spider-Man. Very rarely been done in the last 10 years. They don't go for the whole origin story, thankfully. They have some lovely wee additions. They give him like a funny friend to hang out with. They have some interesting different tech because Tony Stark's helping them out with the suit. And crucially, they have a fuckable Aunt May because it's Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, which is quite funny because in the film Tony Stark's in it and is like always like, hey, your aunt's hot. That's the end of Phase 3 as we come into. No, I missed one. Oh, Thor 3. Thor 3 is funny. It's where Thor goes to a garbage planet run by Jeff Goldblum. What more do you need to know? It's fucking
Hulk's
great.
there.
The Hulk's there as well. Yeah, that's Kate Blanchett is a bad guy, and Jeff Goldblum's kind of the bad guy. Loki's also the kind of bad guy, but he's always in them. But it's a lot of fun. The Hulk's in it, hilarious, and at the end they saved like a bunch of people from his home world, and they get away on a spaceship, and it's like good, nothing bad's gonna happen to them. What's the one I'm missing? Oh, Black Panther.
Yeah.
Right, shit, Wakanda forever. Yeah, so basically Black Panther is a story of Huey Lewis in the news. Huey from the Fun-Loving Criminals. Right, anyway, Black Panther is a story of a prince, but he becomes king. Basically, he's in charge of this like African city, but it's all hidden so that people don't know that they're really technologically advanced, and they also all sound a wee bit like Nelson Mandela. It's great. Wakanda forever. They basically live in this sort of technological utopia almost.
Yep.
And it's got like a super cool, badass, bald warrior queen woman, which I'm not gonna lie, kind of really did it for me. And to be fair, the boys in that film really like Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. So I mean, basically, I was almost slipping when I got out of the cinema. There was not a dry seat in the house. Michael B. Jordan basically is the bad guy in this film who has an amazing haircut and is also like, hey guys, maybe you are kind of being pricks by holding back all this amazing technological stuff. You know, spoiler alert, Wakandans, things have not been great for a lot of black people. So actually very interesting thematics there. Yeah. And they have great battles, great fight scenes. They have Tim from the UK office as a US fighter pilot. Go with it. And it's really good fun and made a shitload of money, which is great stuff. All that means is, if I can try and just get this down, I'll probably get this down in the 5 minutes to encapsulate all of that. There's a bad guy and he's wanting these stones, which are basically MacGuffins, and a bunch of superheroes just like get together to fight the big bad guy with a big chin who wants the stones because the stones can help him kill loads of people. You know what? We should have just said that at the start, actually. We didn't need all that stuff. That was extraneous. I feel that's pretty much all you need to know. Bing. Infinity War in cinemas now. So, I missed nothing out. Thanks, Alan. Brilliant. Okay, we're good.
I think Craig's point leads to like a kind of larger thing. So there's a lot of stuff going on within these movies that shows that it's not just as planned out as they are making out to be. And I can understand someone like Craig's position on it. If you're not going to follow all 18 of these movies, then you're trying to go, well, which ones do I want to see? Because like he says, he'll go and see a Guardians of the Galaxy film because those are fun movies. Yeah. But then when you have Captain America, the first Avenger, then the Avengers, then it's Avengers Age of Ultron, but then also Captain America Civil War. Why is that a Captain America film, not an Avengers film?
Where does Uma Thurman and Sean Connery come into this?
Exactly. And I think that's an issue that a casual fan is going to have with the Marvel Universe. These films, do they work as films on their own? In
my opinion, I don't think you kept saying things like crucially, which I found hilarious. Just because I don't think you really need to know about the whereabouts of the Infinity Stones to enjoy Infinity War. I don't think that really matters too much. People will get that these are bad guy stones. Don't give the bad guy stones. I don't think they talk you through that. It's not important. It's a MacGuffin, like any MacGuffin. The important stuff is the stuff around it. So I still think Infinity War would be fun. I think that's the best version of that sort of film you could get, apart from maybe the David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. film from the late 90s. So basically, I think we've delivered the definitive guide to 18 Marvel films that no nerd could pick holes in. So you're welcome, listener, fucking any time. Alan,
yes,
we've talked about films that have been out.
Yeah.
We've talked about films that you can watch the whole of. What could we possibly do next? I suggest that we talk about stuff that isn't out yet, that we can only see snippets of in the form of our favourite segment. That's right, it's Trailer Talk.
Bum, bum, bum. How about we kick off with a remake of a blaxploitation classic in Superfly?
Oh, yes. This is a remake of it. Is it 72 or something?
72, yeah.
The original Superfly came out. Curtis Mayfield soundtrack?
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of time for a lot of the old blaxploitation films.
Okay.
You know, like Blackula, Blackenstein, black narcissus. But I was watching this trailer, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it looked terrible.
Awful.
You know when you watch a trailer and there's kind of loads of stuff that I guess you're meant to be going, oh, this guy looks really interesting. Like there's loads of people telling you how good he is. In fact, he's telling you how good he is, which I quite like. I quite like braggadociousness in a film character. It was like, yeah, I got into cryptocurrency, and you're like, wait, what? I don't give a fuck about this. Why am I watching this? Flip it for crypto. And I mean, according to the tagline of this, which we referenced earlier, this is the man who redefines the hustle. I hope the dance to the hustle. Now, frankly, this looked terrible, but there was a part of me who was like, this could be kind of amazing. I don't think it will be if the trailer doesn't make it like this looks dumb at the moment, the bad kind of dumb, but if that's just the way the trailer's cut to try and make it look a bit cool and edgy, but if I watch it, it's just about these dudes from Atlanta going to fucking town against the cartels, then I think I might be in. The trailer itself, the text of the trailer does not give me this.
No.
But I could see how this could be the sort of like super fun watch. I suspect it won't be.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It said from acclaimed filmmaker Director X. Or Director 10, as I like to call him.
A music video director, and the whole trailer for me just had that look of music video. Just what you were touching on there, like about the battle with the cartels and gangs and stuff. You know, they do have like a kind of gang who are like in dapper white leather jackets and all have like white automatic weapons, and I was like, oh, look at those guys. That's such a lovely ensemble. You know, match the gun with the coat. That's great. But what I thought was going to draw you in was the fact he's saying, I'm out for one last score. Yeah. When they said, I was like, I don't know about this, and they went, so they're going for one last score, which I was like, oh, I like that. And the cast, you know, some of the cast look like, you know, it's pretty good. They've got a guy who played Omar. Yeah, Michael K. Williams, who now is being credited as Michael Kenneth Williams, which makes me laugh.
Oh, and if you're not from Britain, please look up Kenneth Williams. That's fucking nice.
He's the opposite of Omar.
Can you imagine the UK's Kenneth Williams playing Omar? Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I am out.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. So I mean, it just looks like average pish. Speaking of average looking pish, did you watch the Robin Hood trailer?
Oh my god!
Holy fuck!
Where to begin?
That makes the Superfly remake look like fucking Crank. You know, like this is like if somebody was to make a joke, how could we make the most average looking fucking film of all time based on something you've heard of? The new Robin Hood just looks like, so the trailer, what's that guy's name? Taron Egerton?
Yeah.
And he's all eggy, right? he's like a guy, and he's kicking about, and he's obviously quite like well off and a bit powerful or whatever, and he's just like, why is this Robin Hood guy keep getting away with it? And then they show you these like pictures of this guy with a hood, and you can't see his face, shooting arrows, and he's doing things, and it keeps cutting back to him, and he's like, who is this guy? Who could this be? Oh, wink. You know, and like, I think the trailer thinks that we don't know it's obviously going to be him. I guess like if you're cutting a trailer, you'd want it to be kind of cool, where it's like, who is this guy? Now you can either play it like everyone knows, or you can play it like you don't know, and here's a cool reveal. And they managed to botch both of those.
There's a lot going on here. For it to be made so close to Guy Ritchie's King Arthur and have that same sort of feel to it is bonkers to me. But there's a lot of revolutionary images and stuff about uprisings and communists been given hope, and people throwing Molotov cocktails, bandanas.
He's
over
like
the
a
face.
protester.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. The cast is pretty random. Tim Minchin is Friar Tuck. Ben Mendelsohn is the Sheriff of Nottingham. Jamie Foxx is in it.
Jamie Foxx in it. I mean, to be fair, what's his name? Mendelsohn? Like, as soon as he started speaking, I was back in the game for a second, and then they obviously didn't show you any more of him, because that'd be interesting. And also, I believe our old friend Jamie Dornan's in this film. Wow. Do hope there is like a bit where he's just like doing somebody from behind and whipping them and
takes him to his red room.
Yeah.
Well, he is Will Scarlet, so you know he's going to be.
Is that who he is? Yeah. And then like while that's happening, Taron Egerton just like does a slow motion somersault over him and
fires a dildo into him with a
fires a dildo right up his butt.
But the production design on this movie looks odd for what is ostensibly retelling of an English folktale. Suddenly now the production design looks like it's from Game of Thrones, and all the castles are all like Moroccan influenced.
See, when I saw it, I just went, it just looks like a fucking average film that could be set anywhere, about anything.
I don't know who's thought this was a good idea. I don't know why we have have it, and I can't believe somebody like Jamie Foxx is involved.
To me, it's not a Robin Hood film unless you've got a Bryan Adams soundtrack.
There you go.
And Sean Connery popping up for like £5 million for 2 minutes of screen time. So this can get to fuck. Robin Hood shit. I'm not into it at all.
No.
It didn't even have, at least with Superfly, there was the kind of like, this trailer could be hiding like a film that's mental. This trailer seemed to be just meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Robin had turned around and said, I'm just taking this cash to flip it for crypto. Yeah, I mean, this is pish. Where can we go from here?
We're like, Nobbin Hood. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's two trailers we're not excited about. I think what I need is an iconic character done by somebody who I think is like amazing and would watch anything that they make. But I don't know if we've got anything like, wait a minute. What's that you say, Alan? Did a Predator trailer drop directed by Shane Black? Yeah, baby. We're back in black.
This trailer showing up was like a mysterious box arrived on your doorstep and you opened it up to find inside.
A jobby? No, wait.
A Predator helmet, I was thinking.
Okay. Yeah. So, listen, there's not a huge amount to talk about in this trailer, but it's Shane Black doing the Predator. Now, obviously, we've discussed Predator and Predator 2 in one of our previous episodes, available from all good podcast places. There's like a wee guy finds some Predator shit, and it's obviously like got some home and beacony stuff kind of in it, and he's playing about with it and it's great. It's just like, oh, this will be kind of fun because there's going to be a Predator. But then they cut from that. It's like we're straight in where it seems like it's going to be a team of assassins against a Predator. Oh, that sounds fucking brilliant! A team of assassins, Alan! Assassins!
And the Predator looks like it's coming to suburbia. Like you say, I think the kids turned on a homing beacon and that suddenly summoned the Predator to come to Earth.
And that kid is obviously one of the assassins' kids.
Yeah, and the assassins have sent home some like kind of loot from their mission where they've tangled with the Predator before.
There's also a hot lady scientist. Oh my god, this is amazing.
No, even better than that. She's a disgruntled science teacher. That's how she's described in the synopsis.
Disgruntled hot lady scientist then.
Olivia Munn, as a disgruntled science teacher.
Brilliant. I'm excited.
Now, according to the cast list, Jake Busey's in this. He's playing the son of Gary Busey's character from Predator 2.
Love it.
But the important thing for me watching this, knowing it's a Shane Black film, did you feel there was enough of the kind of patented Shane Black bants?
You know what? Probably not, but it was very quick. They just had a bit of it.
Yeah.
But in a trailer that's only like a minute long or whatever, I was like, yeah, they're just saying,
I think for
like,
me,
it's there. It's there. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
But they didn't overdo it. Gonna have a new Shane Black film. And it's also the Predator film. Oh my god, it's amazing. As we discussed, I love Predator, and it's like, oh, they're gonna bring it back. Oh. It's Shane Black is doing it. It's like all my Christmases have come at once, which weirdly, this film does not seem to be set at Christmas, which is like all of Shane Black's films. Listen, do we need to say that we're in for this? I'm bod deep for this. I'm all in, and obviously you are too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you said let's look at another film, and I didn't know this film existed. So this is the sequel to Escape Plan. Escape Plan 2, Hades.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Escape Plan.
Have you?
It looked like it might be quite enjoyable in the sense of like, if this is like an hour and a half and it's on Netflix, I would probably watch this.
It's a real shame because it is an amazing premise ruined by some shitty casting and poor choices. What would be better for you than getting Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone in their first co-headlining movie and they are breaking out of unbreakable prisons?
I mean, it does sound great, yeah.
But it's not kept that simple in the movie and it's to its detriment. It's a real shame.
However, this film kind of looks like a boatload of fun.
It looks fucking wild.
So basically, there's no Schwarzenegger.
No.
It's Stallone and Dave Bautista,
Yep.
who is the big guy that doesn't understand stuff in the Guardians of the Galaxy. And there's also 50 Cent.
50 Cent's in the first one.
Is he? Right,
Yeah.
okay. That's good. And what I like about this one, it's a classic, like, somebody we know has been imprisoned in this crazy prison. We're going to have to get sent to the prison to break back out. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to watch this film. Like, you've literally sold me in 1 minute of screen time here, guys.
Well, the plot for the first film, just succinctly, is that Sylvester Stallone is a a securities expert. He is sent in as an inmate to test correctional facilities and see if anyone can escape. In the first film, he gets sent to a prison that is supposedly escape-proof, but of course he escapes. So he's the guy who gets sent into prisons and has to break out continuously. How do you better that for the second film? Well, he has to break into a prison and then break out with his pal.
Brilliant.
Crazy.
There's just looks like there's brawls. This is like the secret prison where people just seem to get put, like if they're spies and have secrets and stuff. It's like, Port Merion from The Prisoner.
Yeah.
But instead of it being like eccentric English people, it's shirtless fucking roided up guys and they're all just going to have a massive fight. And I'm not going to lie, I love The Prisoner, but this also sounds great. This sounds fucking great.
Escape plan is, it's totally forgettable. It's a shame because it's a great concept, but this just looks so wild and insane that I'm really intrigued to see it.
Yeah.
Someone in the machine obviously feels good things about Escape Plan 2 Hades because there's already a third film in development starring Sylvester Stallone and Dave Bautista.
Oh, cool. Hades is the name of the prison they get put in, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that. Despite not having seen the first one, I think I'm in for this.
Yeah.
2 we're not in for.
Yeah.
But 2 we're both quite excited about the sense of it.
50-50 split.
So Al, that was mixed, but by the end exciting trailer talk. Bum bum bum. We've come to the end of our episode.
We have.
This is the end, my beautiful friend. Yes, as is traditional, we're going to round out our episode by recommending stuff. Now, Alan, I want to point out, almost every time we recommend stuff to people, you come out by saying, oh, here's something you shouldn't watch. Do you actually have a bona fide recommendation this week, or is this more of your fucking...
This is all change, Chris. This is all change. Knowing that we're going to talk a lot about superhero movies tonight, I picked a superhero movie and then a non-superhero movie.
Cool.
So, first up, based on a series of graphic novels, and it's called The Extraordinary Adventures of Adele Blanc Set.
Ah, right, yes. So a comic book movie, certainly.
Comic book movie, yeah.
I enjoyed that, yeah.
It's a great, fun watch. Just a real sort of like a period piece adventure movie.
She's like a female Indiana Jones kind of thing.
Yes, a female-led comic book movie, and she's a brilliant heroine, total gung-ho action hero, and it's really good fun. And my second recommendation, it's a film called Colossal starring Anne Hathaway, which is like if Noah Baumbach made Pacific Rim. It is amazing.
Oh, wait, hold on. A friend of ours, well, acquaintance, Sly, I'm sure he said that's maybe the worst film he's ever seen.
Really?
I hope you have a fight
absolutely
with him.
Wrong. It's brilliant.
The trailer looked good. I haven't seen it yet, though, so I'll definitely need to check that out. Did we talk about Across 110th Street recently? Or was that... Because I talk about that quite a lot with people.
We haven't, but I'm happy to.
So,
is that because of
we were talking about blaxploitation stuff, and I was talking about just...
And Yaphet Kotto, I think we mentioned recently.
Yaphet Kotto's in it. Looking at the blaxploitation stuff online, like that was sort of saying like, oh, that was kind of in that genre.
Yeah.
That film I remember seeing, and just so apropos of nothing, it came up a couple of times. Okay, it's not quite as good as The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, but it's in that similar vein, that kind of the city is corrupt and there's people out there trying to do their best, and in this case Across 110th Street is basically some low-level hoods stupidly steal from a mafia guy, and these cops, one of them's played by Yaphet Kotto, are trying to sort of solve it and try and get them before the mafia do. Like a great gritty wee thriller.
It's not, a typical blaxploitation thing which normally focuses on the criminal trying to beat the man.
Yeah.
It's more of a kind of conventional cops and robbers movie. But it's one of its strengths is that it's different in content to other blaxploitation.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised to see it mentioned in that blaxploitation thing. Just a great wee thriller. And so if we're recommending a superhero film that maybe not as well known, I would like to point out Punisher Warzone. I cannot recommend this film highly enough. It's the most gonzo, nuts, ridiculous violence. I think the first 5 minutes, the Punisher fly kicks somebody so hard their neck breaks. It's brilliant. It also has a ridiculous performance from McNulty in The Wire.
Yeah, Dominic West.
Honestly, he must have went on a diet afterwards because he was eating so much scenery. It's brilliant. Ray Stevenson plays the Punisher, and it was directed by a woman called Lex Alexander. So this is a female director just came in and went, so you want violence and stuff in this film? Let's just go for it.
Well, she's a kickboxer, so
amazing.
All of the fight sequences were really pulled over, and because she's obsessed with portrayals of action and violence on screen. There's a very, very good episode of How Did This Get Made when they actually have Lexi Alexander in an interview talking about the struggles of making
But you don't need another film podcast, so don't listen.
But yeah, it's great. In terms of like the comic bookness of it, Ray Stevenson looks very much like the Punisher of that Garth Ennis era of the comic book. The violence is so absurdly pumped up that it is just that like level of kind of comic book absurdist violence. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Punisher Warzone. Get on it. Al? We've traversed the galaxy, we've talked about some big stones, and we've talked about burly Brits. It's been a fun episode, but this train keeps a rolling.
Yeah.
What is our next episode going to be on?
The Titanic reboot of the Jurassic Park franchise in Jurassic World.
For a minute I thought he was like, we're doing Titanic? Wait. So we are looking at Jurassic World. So if you want to watch along, watch Jurassic World, and that'll be out in 2 weeks. If you want to get in touch with us, you can even send us some sort of voice memo like Craig and be on the show. You can email us at diminishingpod@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter at diminishingpod. On Facebook we are Diminishing Returns Podcast. You can tag us on Facebook at Diminishing Returns Pod. On Instagram we are Diminishing Pod. On our blog we are diminishingpod.wordpress.com. And on YouTube, search for Diminishing Returns. You'll probably find us. We are an independent podcast. We are just two sad weirdos in Al's basement. So please, if you like this and you think you've got friends that would like this, send them a link to the show and rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast. Don't be a prick and do anything less than that.
Your likes and shares really help us out.
Yeah, he said it in a nicer way. What I'm saying is, if you don't do it, I fucking hate you. So it's like carrot and stick.
Wait, am I the carrot?
You are ginger, so that kind of works in a colour palette. I'm brown and sticky. Guys, thanks again, and we'll see you next time for Jurassic World.
Thanks, guys.
Also, if you play this, then there's loads of people that listen to this who must be much funnier than me and have decent things to phone in and say about or whatever. So get them doing that, because one of the best things you did was your friend who'd never seen Star Wars trying to talk about Star Wars and actually getting quite close to the mark with it. That was very entertaining. There's got to be people funnier than me sending things in.